3.2 is all about adding and subtracting linear expressions. I want to explain to you what a linear expression is. So go ahead and pull out your red pen and fill in your notes with this definition. A linear expression is an algebraic expression where the exponent of each variable is no higher than a 1. Can you guys remind me, what is a variable? It's a letter, okay? A variable is always a letter. So it's saying the exponent is no higher than a 1. Just remind me, out of x squared, what's my exponent? 2. The 2, because it's a square. Out of x cubed, what's my exponent?
3.
The 3. Out of 4 to the 5th power, what's my exponent? The 5, okay? So let's look at this right here. There is actually an imaginary 1, because that just means I only have 1 negative 4x. 3x plus y, you could have imaginary 1s there, okay? So this is a linear expression simply because the exponent is not higher than a 1. Let's look at this one right here. What is my exponent on 1/6 x squared?
2.
The 2, the square. So that right there is not a linear expression. How about this? X to the 5th plus 2. What is my exponent?
5.
A 5. So that is not a linear expression. How about that? 4x cubed. What is the exponent? A 3. Is that a 1 or smaller? No. So that's not a linear expression, okay? So let's go ahead. We're going to do some problems here that kind of help us. We're going to just work with the linear expression. First up, this says x minus 2 plus 3x plus 8. As I look at this first one right here, do you think there is any reason why I should keep the parentheses there?
No.
Is there any number that's outside like this that tells me I need to multiply it by everything on the inside? No. So guess what I can do with those parentheses? I can basically let them go away and drop down everything else that's inside the parentheses. What is inside the parentheses here, guys? X minus 2. So I'm going to drop those down, and then basically I am just letting those go away because there's really no need for me to keep the parentheses there. Now let's go on. Plus, is there any number outside the parentheses? No. Because I'm just adding it, guess what I can do with these parentheses? Let them float away and just drop down everything else that's in the middle. So I'm going to bring down my plus and then 3x plus 8. Now I have a problem that looks very similar to what we did last week. We've got to find our like terms. Is there anything else in the x family?
No. Yes.
Javaria, what else is in the x family? 3x, okay? Now tell me, this right here, how many x's is that, guys?
1.
A 1. So you can put an imaginary 1 in there if you would like. Next up, Sierra, what else do you see there that's like terms? Negative 2 and 8. Does anybody remember what those numbers that stand alone are called?
Yeah. Constants.
Constants. Very good job. Now, who thinks that you can help me with adding these like terms together? Go ahead and try. What's 1x plus 3x? 4x is correct. And now we are going to add our constants. What's negative 2 plus 8? Same sign or different sign there, guys?
Different.
Different signs. Subtract the numbers and take the sign of the larger number. What do you get? Positive 6. Now, here's what I saw before. A lot of people just put a 6. You have to make sure you do plus 6 because that's a positive. Now, if I add these together, is this correct? 10x.
No.
Why not?
Because they're not the same family.
They're not in the same family. Those are not like terms, so I cannot answer them. So that is the correct answer. Problem B. Madison, do I need these parentheses right here? Nope. So I'm going to just go ahead and let the parentheses go. There's no need to keep them there any longer. Here's why. There's nothing that I can do to combine inside of there. One's a y and one's a constant. So because I can't combine anything else, that's why I'm allowed to let those parentheses go. So I'm going to drop down negative 4y plus 3. Now, once again, because I am just adding right here, I am able to allow those parentheses to go away because all I'm doing is adding. So I'm going to drop down my plus sign and bring down 11y minus 5. William, please help me with my like terms. Remember, every number has a sign, and that sign is directly in front of that number. So the first one is negative 4y.
And
Positive 11y. Are there any other like terms up there?
positive 3 and negative 5.
Fantastic. Now, when I am doing this, I want to see all of this work in your notes on a quiz or a test. I want to see you underlining and circling the like terms. Let's start with our y family. Negative 4y, positive 11y. Same sign or different sign, guys? Different sign. So, Brody, what is negative 4y plus 11y?
7.
Okay, positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay, and what family was that?
The Y.
Y. So you have to keep the y. On a lot of people's homework last week, they just let the y go. Please make sure you keep it attached there because it's in the y family. And guys, what's plus 3 minus 5? Negative 2. They were different signs, so we subtract and we take the sign of the larger number. Go ahead and box it in. For the next one, there's one thing that's different. The other one, we were finding the sum, so we were adding two separate things. Now we're going to be subtracting, which makes things a little bit trickier, okay? So you notice here, we are subtracting. So let's just look at this, first things first. This right here has an imaginary number in front of it. This says negative. I am subtracting negative 1, okay? So there is basically an imaginary 1 right there. Sometimes we don't understand that because we just see a minus sign, but it says I am subtracting just one of these. Not 2 of those or 10 of those, I'm only subtracting one of these. So do you guys understand that if I put a 1 there, it doesn't change anything?
Yes.
Think about this. If I were to do 1 times 5, what's the answer? 5. If I were to do 1 times 10, what's the answer? 10. If I were to do 1 times 20, what's the answer? 20. So if I were to do 1 times negative 2x plus 6, what's the answer? Negative 2x plus 6. So I'm not changing anything because all I'm doing is just putting in, multiply it by a negative 1. So now this is where we try to think about our distributive property. I want you to pull out your pencils and do this. If I have a number outside the parentheses, do I multiply by everything in the parentheses or just the numbers I want to?
Everything.
You multiply it by everything. So I will have to take this negative 1 and multiply it times negative 2x. Guess what else I have to multiply the negative 1 by?
The 6.
The positive 6. So go ahead and do those little arrows just so we remember. We've got to multiply that negative 1 by everything in the parentheses. Let's do first things first. From left to right, do I need these parentheses on the outside? No. So I can allow those parentheses to go away, and I'm going to drop down just the 5x plus 6. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. We got to think first things first. Negative 1 times negative 2x. When I have two negatives, what does my answer become? A positive or stay negative? Okay, listen, 2 negatives is even. So if I have a negative times a negative, my answer becomes positive. So what is negative 1 times negative 2x? It's going to be a positive, and what's 1 times 2x? 2x, because anything times 1 always equals itself. Now we're going to do this arrow right here. What is negative 1 times positive 6?
Negative 6.
If you have one negative, does your answer stay negative or become positive? It stays a negative. Okay, that's the even and odd rule that we learned. So negative 1 times positive 6 equals negative 6. Now we have a problem that looks like normal because this is a plus sign now. So let's just find our like terms. Madison, what are my like terms that you see there? 5x and 2x, that's the x family. Anything else?
6 and 6.
Okay, positive 6 and negative 6. So let's go ahead and do our x family first. Alexis, what's 5x plus 2x?
7.
7x. And what's plus 6 minus 6?
0.
0. Remember, they cancel out. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to draw a line through it. And what's my answer, guys? 7x. Okay, remember, a number and its opposite always equals 0. You do not need to write that that was 7x plus 0. Instead, we just don't let it be there, and our answer is 7x. Let's do another example just like that. Going on to problem B. Remember, it gets a little tricky when we are subtracting things that are in parentheses. What number can I put there next to my minus? Okay, I could put a 1 in there. That just means I multiply it all by a -1. Go ahead and take your arrows, and remember, I'm going to multiply -1 times 8y, and I'm going to multiply -1 times what, guys? -6. Okay, remember, every number has a sign, and that sign is directly in front of that number. Let's work from left to right. Nikki, what can I do with those parentheses?
I have a question.
Okay, thank you, Cameron. We don't need the parentheses there anymore because there's no number here on the outside. So I'm allowed to let those kind of float away and just drop down the 7y plus 5. Now, because I have a negative here, we're going to go ahead and multiply -1 times 8y. If I have one negative, is my answer going to be positive or negative? Negative. It's going to be negative, so let's bring the negative sign down. And what is 1 times 8y? 8y. Okay, 8y. And we already brought that negative down. Now, I'm going to multiply -1 times -6. What is it, guys?
6.
Okay, positive 6. Don't just say 6 because I've got to bring down plus 6. Okay, now we've got a problem similar to what we had before. Haley, help me underline my like terms. Okay, 7y and -8y. Anything else that's like terms? Positive 5 and positive 6. So now we are dealing with the y family first. Okay, one is positive, one is negative. Same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract and take. What is 7y minus 8y, class?
-15.
You have to subtract the numbers, 8 minus 7, and take the sign of the larger number. What's the answer? -1y. Okay, now let's go ahead and deal with our constants. Positive 5 and positive 6. What does that equal? 11, okay? Am I adding 11 or subtracting it? I'm going to add it because those are both positives, okay? So plus 11. Now, I want to teach you a little bit of a shortcut. This, to me, is an easier way to do a problem like that. This kind of problem becomes a little difficult because I have that negative in front of my parentheses. So let me teach you a trick. I want you to go ahead and take this original problem right here and just bring it down, rewrite it down here, so I can show you another way that we can do this problem. I'm just going to rewrite it. The original problem said 5x plus 6 minus -2x plus 6. Okay, so once again, remember, you're just taking this and rewriting it down here. All right, let's work through this. First things first, what can I do with those parentheses at the very beginning? I can let them float away and drop down everything that's inside. So I'm just going to drop down 5x plus 6. Now remember, I told you it gets tricky right here when we have a negative. It just is easier to do it when you have a plus sign there. So here's what I'm going to let you do. Whenever you see a minus, I give you permission to switch it to a plus. Do you think that will be easier? Now, here's the deal. You can't just switch it and not change everything else. So what we have to do now is change every other sign that was inside of our parentheses. So what is the opposite of -2x? Positive 2x. So instead, I'm going to bring down a positive 2x. What is the opposite of plus 6? -6. So all we did was we went ahead and we changed this right here, and then I had to change the sign of everything in the parentheses behind it. I am not going to change these parentheses because that wasn't behind it. All right? Now, let's just go ahead and see what kind of an answer we get. Underline the 5x, underline the 2x, the plus 6, and the minus 6. Guys, what's 5x plus 2x? 7x. What is plus 6 minus 6? They cross out. What's your answer?
7x.
Is that the same exact answer I got up there? How many of you would say you like doing it the second way better? All right, let's try it out on problem B. We're going to do problem B that same way and see if we still like it. I am allowing you to choose which way you would rather do it, okay? So I want you to go ahead and take this original problem and rewrite it down here. All right, here we go. These very beginning ones. Is there any number on the outside that I need in order to keep my parentheses? No. So what can I do with my parentheses? Okay, take them away and drop down everything that was inside. Now remember, it is very tricky when we have a minus sign there. So what do we like to do, class? Change it to a positive. If I change this to a positive, what do I have to do to everything inside my parentheses? Change the signs to their opposite. What's the opposite of positive 8y?
Negative 8.
Okay, negative 8y. What is the opposite of minus 6? Positive or plus 6. Now there's one tricky thing that just happened here. I have plus minus. Who always wins out of a plus minus?
Minus.
When they're right there next to each other, that means I'm adding a negative. When you're adding a negative, the minus sign always wins. So we're going to go ahead and erase that right there and just put the minus sign. Now let's go ahead and underline the like terms. What are my first two like terms, class? 7y and negative 8y. And what are the other two? Positive 5 and positive 6. If you look now, this looks identical to what I just had there. I just did it a slightly different way. What is 7y minus 8y? Negative 1y. And what is plus 5 plus 6? Positive 11. Did we get the same answer here as we did up here? Yes. How many of you would say you enjoy doing it this way up on top where you multiply it times a negative 1? How many of you would say you like it better changing that negative to a positive and changing all the signs after it? Once again, I do not care which way you do it. You can choose which way you want to do it. But for me, I think the second way is easier, so I will continue doing it the second way. If you like more understanding the why of it, though, you can do it the first way and just multiply it by a negative 1. Let's go ahead and try out a modeling real life problem. This is talking about skateboard kits. Skateboard kits cost you D dollars, okay? So that's just a certain amount of dollars. We're just giving it a variable D. And you have a coupon for $2 off each one that you buy. If you have $2 off, is that subtracting $2 from the price or adding $2? It's subtracting. It's a coupon. You're getting a better deal. Now, after assembly, you are going to go out and sell each skateboard for 2D minus $4. Find and interpret your profit on each skateboard sold. So basically what we're trying to find is the profit. Everybody go ahead, we're going to do a verbal model and write down the word profit. What does profit mean?
To trade.
Charbel, excellent. It's the money you make off of something, okay? So a profit comes from when you sell something, right? You've got to sell it and subtract how much you purchased it for. Let's imagine that I had purchased a kit, let's just pretend, for $10. If I sold it for $15, guys, how much did I profit? I made $5, okay, because I had to buy it for $10, but I was able to sell it for more, so I pocketed $5. So what this is asking us, it doesn't tell us actually how much we purchased it for, so we're going to kind of use D to help us try to figure this out. How much does it tell us in my original problem that we sold the skateboards for?
D dollars.
Not D dollars. How much does it tell me? It says you sell each skateboard for 2D minus $4. So instead of writing the word sell, we're going to go ahead and plug in 2D minus 4, because that's what it tells us in the original problem that we have sold it for. Now we're going to bring down our minus sign. How much does it say that we purchased a kit for?
$4.
No, it never says a kit was
$D.
$D. Now, I had a coupon. Am I subtracting D minus 2 if I had a coupon, or D plus 2? If I am getting a coupon, it takes it off the original problem. So this is D minus 2. Now, this looks very similar to the kind of problems we just did. What can I do with these parentheses, guys? Take them away and drop down what's inside. 2D minus 4. Now, am I allowed to just drop those ones? No, why not? Look at this. Do you see that sign? It's a minus sign. Whenever there's a minus sign there, everything changes behind it. Remember, we like dealing with plus signs better. So what's the opposite of a minus? A plus. So I'm going to go ahead instead now. I'm changing that to a plus sign, which means everything inside of here has to change. Instead of having a positive D, what do I have now, guys? A negative D. And instead of having a minus 2, I have a plus 2. What always happens to this plus minus right next to each other? The negative always wins. If I'm adding a negative number, that means I am subtracting. So I'm going to go ahead and just erase this and put a subtraction sign. Now we have a problem that looks just like normal. Harmony, what should I underline and circle? Okay. This is a 2D. She mentioned this is a 1. Remember, what sign is in front of that 1D? Negative 1D. And what other like terms do you see there? Negative 4 and positive 2. Let's deal with the D family first. I have 2D minus 1D. What do I get, guys?
1D, negative 1D.
If it's 2 minus 1, what's 2 minus 1? 1D. Okay, don't make it more difficult than it is. Now let's go ahead and do negative 4 and positive 2. Minus 2. So right there we know 1D minus 2 will help us to understand what profit we are going to get for each skateboard that's sold. All right, now I want you guys to see if you can get this kind of a problem. I just want you to work on problem A on your own, and then we'll talk about it here in just a minute. Okay, I saw a lot of different answers. Let me show you what I was looking for. Negative 8x plus 4. And I can just get rid of those parentheses, 8x minus 7. Now, a lot of you did not circle and underline. If yours isn't, you need to fix it for me right now. The x family is there, and the constant family is here. Negative 8x plus 8x, what happens to that?
0.
It cancels out. Now listen, many of you wrote 0x. I don't want to see a 0x. If there are no x's, then let me see no x's. What is positive 4 minus 7? Negative 3 is your answer. Problem B. As you can see, this is a positive sign. Because it's a positive sign and there are no numbers in front of my parentheses, I am able to get rid of the parentheses. So now I have half W minus 3 plus 1/4 W plus 3. Next thing you want to do is look for like terms. This is the W family, that is the W family. These are my constants, so I circle the constants. What do I have to do with my fractions, class? Find a common denominator. I have half W plus 1/4 W. What's the common denominator there?
4.
A 4. So if I know this needs to be a 4, that needs to be a 4. This one can stay the same because 1/4 is the same as 1/4. How do I get from a 2 to a 4? I multiply by 2. Then you have to multiply by 2 on the top. 1 times 2 is what? 2. All right, now these are the W family. 2/4 W plus 1/4 W equals what? 3/4 W. Thank you, Ayana. Now let's look at our constants. Negative 3 plus 3. 0. So I can just cancel that out. I do not want to see you write plus 0 because when you simplify it, you have to get rid of plus 0. So my correct answer is 3/4 W. The next one is a little bit tricky because we have this minus sign right there. And we're dealing with decimals. I want you to go ahead and try to do this one on your own. I saw a lot of correct answers as I went walking around, so I can get rid of these parentheses right here at the very beginning, so I'm going to just write negative 2c plus 5. I don't want a negative there, so I'm going to change that minus sign to a plus sign. But if I change it, then everything inside here, every single term, has to change to the opposite term. Instead of positive 6.3c, what will it be? Negative 6.3c. Instead of plus 20, what will it be? Minus 20 or negative 20. Out of a plus minus, who always wins? When I add a negative, that simply means that I am subtracting. So I'm going to change that to a subtraction. Raise your hand if you got that far. If you didn't, please erase it and fix it to look like my notes. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and underline. This comes from the C family. That's the C family. This is my constant family. Here's another mistake that many people made. You have to line up your decimal points. So that right there is a 2.0. So I've got 6.3, and I'm going to add 2.0. When you add those together, you get 8.3. However, this was a negative, that was a negative. Same sign, add and keep. When I add those together, what do I get, guys? Negative 8.3, and it was in the C family. If you don't have that, erase it and fix it. Finally, plus 5 minus 20, what do I get?
Negative 15.
Negative 15. Can I combine those terms?
No.
No. A lot of people just left the C out. If it's in the C family, you've got to keep the C there. All right, this is tonight's homework. As you can see, there are only 9 problems.